What's going on? Right. You have a cushion back there?
Yes.
Is that enough? Are you sure? Okay. All right. All right. This is nice today. I never know. I look at attendance, 2 people, I'm like, I'm happy with 2, and then we have however many are here, so it's good. No, I'm not drinking wine. That'll be a new thing. So now what's bringing me joy is. Anyway. So this morning, we're gonna work on, we're gonna do our 9-part purification breath. I don't know if everybody has practiced that yet. I know some of you have. It's a breathing technique that helps to balance the energies of the body. And of course, all of the vital organs. And so it's, body, mind, speech when we do these practices, and it integrates the channels of the body. So there's 3 main channel, there's 1 main channel, and then there's 2 minor main channels that run alongside. So the main channel is right in front of the spine, and that one runs from the crown of the head right down to just below the navel. So 4 finger lengths. When I say that, if you put your hand like that and put it just below the navel, then that's the point that you want to imagine the breath coming to. So we'll work on our 9-part purification breath, and then we're gonna work on probably combining it with a little meditation as well, but something called a vase breath, where we imagine in that space below the pelvic floor and the navel that there's a vase there. And this breath, we work to fill the vase with subtle energy and release the subtle gross energies, right? The things that don't serve us. So we're left with the healing subtle energy within the body, so that if I understand this correctly, stays there all the time and continues the process of healing and energizing and balancing in the body. And obviously, just like any other practice, it's something that you would want to do on a more regular basis. But today you'll get to experience that, the 9-part breath, and then the vase breath. All right. It's easy. We'll do it together and it will be fun. Yeah, so let's close our eyes and just get into the space together. Without changing anything right here, just allow yourself to be present. And whatever that means to you right now. And then we'll gradually bring in some suggestions. And bringing in this awareness of being present. You can begin to find your posture a little more. So sitting up taller, or making some movement so you feel more comfortable within the body, and then finding your posture, always an option. Depending on what time you woke up this morning, you may not have been able to stretch and get all those little kinks out, or big kinks, whatever kinks you're working with. And as you find your posture more and more, you feel like you're able to breathe more readily. You can feel the breath filling the lungs. And you can even imagine that the breath is expanding out to every cell of your body, which it is. But it's nice when you put the visual with that. And just noticing what's coming up in your mind this morning, the thoughts, the pace of your thoughts. Monday, we worked with a little mini talk from Ram Dass where he spoke about not being attached. It's okay to have opinions and preferences, but let's see if we can loosen up around those opinions and preferences, not be attached to them. So when you close your eyes and you begin to notice your thoughts, sometimes we find that we're judging ourselves for whatever reason. So you go through the process of noticing that, right? Of witnessing what's coming up. And that little argument that you have with yourself, maybe about the shoulds, what should be happening, how you should be sitting, or this isn't, questioning yourself, you know? And so we just watch that and breathe into it. And just like you would if you were sitting with someone you care about and they were telling you these things, you wouldn't tell them anything harsh. You would be kind and compassionate and gentle. Unless maybe you'd heard the story 50,000 times. And in that time, you might say, all right, now it's time to move on. But be gentle still in the moving on. So gentleness, kindness toward yourself first. So we feel that ease in the body. And maybe a little more space between thoughts. There's a little trick to that too. I know sometimes the mind races. And if you ask yourself, what will my next thought be? You'll be surprised at what is there. What will my next thought be? Just go ahead and silently ask yourself that a few times and notice what happens. What will my next thought be? You might be experiencing a little nice disruption of that chain of thoughts. What will my next thought be? And then in that disruption, that space, you'll find maybe a deeper breath. maybe some ease and shifting into that curiosity mode where you become curious about the sensations in your body and the fluctuations of the mind. We are pretty interesting creatures. What will my next thought be? We connect with the breath more and scan the body. And as you scan the body, focus on your feet and relaxing your feet, your toes, relaxing the skin on the feet. And in that process, you become aware of the sensations of the feet. Draw the awareness to the knees and do the same thing. Right? Relax the knees, the muscles, the joint, the ligaments, the tendons, all the things that make up and hold the knee, the upper, the lower leg, and feel that relax and aware of the sensations that arise when you relax that area. And take the next couple minutes and see what comes next for you. What area of the body you feel called to relax as you bring awareness to it and the sensation. Our little bell of mindfulness with that beeping sound in the background. Get carried away with a thought, you might say, what will my next thought be? And then maybe you're led to the next area of the body that you're called to, or that you are drawn to, right? You don't have to overthink it. And it's okay when you do this exercise to use your hands if you feel like it would help you connect more to place your hands on whichever part of your body you're drawn to, called to. A lot of energy that moves through the body, out through the hands, so we can support the process with this energy. And then letting all that go. Opening your eyes when you're ready. Just briefly sharing how that that sentence, what will my next thought be? That little disruption, if it worked for you. Raise your hand if it worked for you to disrupt the thoughts. It's pretty good, right? First time I did that, I was like, wow. That's like yoga nidra-ish, right? You could bring in anything next, just say any word, right? And it will just kind of keep disrupting until you get into some kind of flow and your brain can relax. I mean, it is relaxing, but in a different way. And then you have to bring something else in that disrupts it again. But yeah, it's a neat way to disrupt the thought process and have that gap, right? That space that is a little bit rare to have the gap. And then the sensations in the body, right? You're able to move around the body, and it always amazes me when I move my awareness to different parts of the body, how I feel like I could do that for hours and just relax more and more, like the layers of tension that are there that we're kind of unaware of. We might feel relaxed, but then when you start doing that, it's like you can actually feel everything relaxing more and more. So the 9-part purification breath is alternate nostril breathing, and we use our index fingers throughout most of the process to guide the wind energy. And so I'm not just demonstrating when I show you, you're actually doing it with me. So, and you can keep your eyes open and watch me, and close your eyes when you can. So it looks like this. We sit up nice and tall. I'll guide you through a certain type of posture first that helps to open up the channels. And then we take the left index finger and the right index finger. We gently block the nostrils when you do alternate nostril breathing. You don't have to, push your nose to the other side of the room. Sometimes you do because you're concentrating so hard. So gently block, and then we inhale, and we take the right index finger and we trace sort of the sinus cavity that goes above the eyebrow. And that's where we inhale from. So we're inhaling, if you imagine the channels, I told you about the central channel. Then we have the solar channel on the right side, the lunar channel on the left side. So red, white, and I'll bring the imagery in as we move through, but don't worry too much about trying to bring all that in. If you're really focused on the breath, it's okay. And so around the sinus cavity, I mean, not so much, but and it comes down, and this one goes to that point, the 4 finger widths below the navel. And then it moves over to the other side and rises up, and then we cleanse. So we're breathing in this clear light, this rainbow light. So you can imagine it as rainbow light or a prism, or kind of the way that I do it is like a prism that's illuminated like the light of a full moon. So it's like this beautiful, it's not like the sun that's super bright, but the full moonlight. We breathe that in, and it helps to balance through the central channel, releasing the qualities that don't serve us, right? Like ignorance, aversion, anger. Those are like some of the major qualities that we work to purify in yoga and Buddhism. So that's what we're purifying. And then we can kind of rest in that energy, which sets us up for the vase breathing. So like I said, feel free to watch. So we'll inhale through the right side. We hold the breath for just a second as it rises up the left, and then we block the right and exhale left. Then we inhale. I'm just demonstrating right now. We'll go through it properly. Inhale left, it comes down. We hold at that point below the navel. It rises up the right side. We block left, exhale right. Then we inhale through both sides. Hold that point below the navel. It rises up the central channel, and we exhale out through both nostrils. The central channel is blue, right? So we have red, white, blue. This was long before America. All right. So coming into our indestructible posture, right? Our Vajra posture. This helps to, we lengthen up so much that you can imagine it just opens up the channel. So if you take your thumb to the base of your ring finger, and then fold the other 4 fingers over. Then we face the palms up and turn them in, and we place them right at the crease where the upper thighs and the lower pelvis meet the hip flexors, essentially. And I have an advantage here because I'm so propped up, so I can actually sit up straight. But believe it or not, people can do this seated. They can straighten the arms and have a nice long spine. So don't worry about that too much if your arms are bent. It doesn't matter. You can actually let your shoulders pop up here, right? So you kind of look like a vulture. And then you drop the shoulders back. So the heart is open, you drop the chin. So let's just take a moment and sit in this posture. And as we sit here, there's a couple things you can do. You can draw up from the pelvic floor and deepen the breath a little bit. So that way you can really imagine, I know I've said it before, that your spine is like a stack of golden coins. And as we push through the wrists, I know it can be a little bit uncomfortable because we're pushing in a place we don't normally push with our hands, our wrists. You work to straighten the arms a little more. They're probably not going to be completely straight. And just get a sense of those 3 channels, right? The central channel being the biggest, that runs below the navel to the crown, and then the solar and the lunar that run right beside it, but from basically the 3rd eye to that point below the navel. And relaxing, we're going to take the hands away. So you want to try to stay as straight up as you can. Obviously, we just do our best here. And we're going to gently block the left nostril, taking the right index finger, inhaling through the right nostril. So we're tracing, we bring it down to that point below the navel, gentle hold as it rises up the left side. And we block the right, exhale left. Inhale left. Hold as it rises up the right. Blocking left, exhale right. Both nostrils, inhale through both sides. Bring it down to that point below the navel. Let it rise up the central channel. And we exhale. Good. Block left, inhale right. You can imagine you're breathing in red smoke, collecting all of the things that we want to release, those qualities. It rises up the left side, blocking right, exhale left. Red smoke until you see that beautiful rainbow light. Inhale, left side, white smoke. A gentle hold as it rises up the right side. Blocking left, exhale right, releasing white smoke until you see the rainbow light. Then we inhale through both sides. Just pure rainbow light. It comes down. Hold, let it rise up the central channel. Exhale, blue smoke until you see the rainbow. Back to the left, block, inhale right. Gathering up anger, aversion. Let it rise up the left side, blocking right, exhale left, releasing, purifying. Inhale left side, gather up the ignorance and delusion. Let it rise up the right side, block left, exhale right, release it. Good, inhale through both sides. Gathering up our attachments, our aversions. Rises up the central channel, we exhale, purify. One more time, blocking left, inhale right. Let it rise. Block right, exhale left. Good, inhale left. Let it rise. Block left, exhale right. Inhale both sides. Let it rise up. And exhale. Good. Bring your thumb back to that point on the ring finger, fold them over, find your indestructible posture. And breathe. Imagine your whole body as that rainbow light. And this is where we have the opportunity to even lighten up, imagining that there's no bones, muscles, organs, blood. We can just feel light. So we might call this emptiness or voidness or infinite potential, where nothing is named or defined. A sense of freedom, releasing our attachments in this moment, our aversions, our anger, our ignorance, our delusion. Right, so we purify body, speech, mind. Naturally visualize a Buddha above your head, surrounding you in that rainbow light sphere. The Buddha is you, your Buddha nature. For me, I always find this is a good opportunity, or I naturally feel inclined here to bring in the quality of love, compassion. And maybe working to let go of the definition of that, right? Just in the essence of those qualities. So they can settle into the spaciousness and be revealed as I move through the day today. Slowly dissolving the Buddha into your heart, relaxing your posture. You can undo your hands, just sit. Again, if you feel guided to place your hands anywhere on your body, then listen to the guidance. Breathe in the energy, let it flow. We'll take a short time to open the eyes. If there's any questions or comments that you have about that practice before we move on to the next practice, then feel free. And sometimes that happens, right? Like Kathy was coughing, you purifying there, right? So I need to do it a few more times. We're all purifying the pollen.
Yes.
It's okay, it's okay. So two different forms of spaciousness, right? Asking the question, what will my next thought be? And then when we do that breath and we get to the point where we're allowing ourselves to be empty or be infinite potential. It's a similar feeling, but you know, what will my next thought be is the spaciousness, it feels of mind. And then the other infinite potential space is body. But really, when you sit with it, it ends up feeling like it is all the same because it's, you know, no dualities here. Were you able to feel spacious at that point? No.
I think when we came back to the seat.
Yes.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So I
Yeah, yes.
definitely
Yes, at
felt
that
it.
point.
Yes. After we do the breath. Yeah. And then you come back. That's
I
what,
need to.
Yeah.
I was like so confused as to when I was supposed to be breathing in and out and moving up and down. Just breathe.
yeah. I mean, it's like any other piece of breath work. It does. Yeah.
Takes time.
It takes time for sure. I remember the first couple times I did it, I was like watching a video and having to pause it every second because I'm like, what's happening? It was that one that I gave you guys originally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that Needed pausing, it was confusing.
Yeah.
Even now, I haven't done it for a while and I'm like, I just get, I start here and then I'm like, no, I need to start from here.
From the top, right? Yeah, so it's here, well, let's do it together with all of our eyes open. We gently block the left, inhale, right side. So we go, just make a little rainbow around there. Bring it down to that point below the navel, just gently hold as it rises up the left side. Then we block right, exhale left. Good. Inhale right. Same thing. Other side, bring it down. Hold. Did you get confused?
Well, you just said inhale right, but I had my right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Inhale left.
Okay,
Me
good.
saying it wrong.
I
Yeah,
have the wrong finger already.
Whichever nostril is open. Then, yeah, so we inhale left, bring it down, it rises up the right side, block left, exhale right.
So I get confused because I feel like I should be inhaling down and exhaling up.
Right, and do it then.
Yeah.
It's you don't have to hold it either, like you can definitely inhale and then. You can't though, because as it rises up, there is a little, maybe try this, let's block your left, inhale. Keep inhaling as it goes down and around. And then exhale. Inhale left. Down, around, up, keep inhaling. Block left, exhale right. No, did I help you?
I like that rainbow.
Yeah,
Because we're working like with that rainbow, like that'll help me to remember because I don't get confused which way to go, except when I saw you were like starting here and I'm like, shoot, what, like.
yeah,
I think that there's like this want to also like do it perfect, but
Ooh.
I think something that I was trying to do was maybe just focus on the color in that moment and like the channel and like let the breath just be. So if I kept coming back to the visual, which is the purpose,
right,
like that's helped me a lot.
yeah,
And I'm like, wait, what? I'll just be like, okay, back to, we're working with the right, so this color, so that's just something I've done.
yeah, like one little piece per time that you can focus on, right?
And which color on which side?
So the right is red.
It's red.
So if you know, like the right side is masculine or solar sun, think about like the sun is strong, and then the left side is lunar, moon, calm. So it's a little bit easier, and then central blue, I don't really know how you can remember that one, but.
No, I just
Yeah.
wrote it blue.
Okay. Yeah, but we just keep on practicing, and the other thing maybe is you switch up, like, if we're blocking left, inhaling right, maybe you start at the nostril, and that might help to inhale. So you can kind of remember, like, the move, we're just helping to move the
practice.
energy along, yeah, just like I said, just like anything else, this one. I like it, I like all this, the visualization, the moving of the hands, because it's all like a disruption of our regular neurological pathways, right? So then we're able to create that spaciousness. So that's why I think it's hard to kind of get used to, because it's a totally different way of doing things, which essentially is anti-aging. Anti-aging. All right, so go ahead and close your eyes again. Lucy, what are you sending me? You have, she's part of my do not disturb people that can disturb me, but she's sending me things that she wants me to buy her. So that doesn't.
Not necessary.
No, gonna remove her from being able to come through. All right, so yeah, just settle in, close your eyes. We're gonna do this with our eyes closed, but I'm gonna just read a little bit about the Neizhong breathing, partial Vaz breathing. So it's the basic breath work for Neizhong practice. And it involves a gentle breath retention. So remember, gentle breath retention. So you're going to begin to imagine, and we're going to go through this more than once, but begin to imagine that there is a vase or a vase inside your lower abdomen that is open at the top, at the level of the navel, and fills up your belly, okay? So when we get to this point, as you inhale, you'll inhale very slowly and smoothly, as if you are slowly drawing an arrow until the bow is very taut. Visualize the breath coming in through the two nostrils and into the two lateral channels, right? The ones that run beside the central channel, filling up the vase in the lower abdomen. Once you have inhaled fully, you retain the breath for as long as comfortable. So you draw up through the pelvic floor, and then you push down the breath from above. So the breath stays low and does not fill the upper chest, right? So it's just that space that's below the navel and the pelvic floor. After retaining the breath for as long as is comfortable, exhale quickly, as if you're releasing the arrow, shooting the breath out of the nostril. So it's quick, it's just when you do that, right? And that takes a little practice too, but it's kind of like the breath of fire, like that, quick on the exhale. So shooting the arrow, as if you're releasing the arrow, shooting the breath out of the nostrils. When you exhale, only approximately 30% of the breath should be released, while the rest remains in the vase. The reason for this is that as you exhale, your breath separates into two parts. Only the grossest part of our wind energy is expelled through the nostrils, while the most subtle and pure part of the breath stays inside the vase. As you repeat this breath cycle many times, your vase slowly gets filled drop by drop in this pure wind energy, increasing your strength and vitality, charging up your inner battery. Practice the simple breathing exercise several times, retaining the breath only for as long as is comfortable. The spiritual significance of the transformation of karmic winds into wisdom winds through breath retention is part of the energetic body. And it takes a lot of time and practice to obviously completely transform karmic winds, but you know, everything is a practice into wisdom winds. But through this kind of breathing, we can begin the process. So we'll do some rounds together. So again, closing the eyes, if you want to, you can come into your indestructible posture, your Vajra posture. So we open up the channels. You're more than welcome to stay here for it, but try to be comfortable in the body. So if this is uncomfortable for you, just make sure you're sitting up tall. And we're imagining the lateral channels, so the right and the left, the red and the white. We're also imagining this vase that is at the navel. The top opens at the navel and it fills to the pelvic floor, and we're drawing up. So when we draw up from the pelvic floor, we feel that little rise in energy. You might feel like tingles or like a little chill when you do that. So we draw up. And when we inhale, we're breathing into those channels and they come down to the vase. And that's where we hold the breath. And it's a gentle hold, and everyone's going to be at their own pace of retaining the breath. We want to stay comfortable. There's no pressure in the face or the eyes, no feeling of gasping for air. You just want to hold to a point where you feel like, all right, this is enough. And then you shoot the arrow. Good. And then you breathe again. Inhale. And if you need a couple regular breaths in between, that's okay. Breathing into those channels, it comes down, the gentle retention. So a few more. When you're ready to relax with your eyes closed. Reflect on that vase, the vase now that has drops of subtle, pure, vital energy. You feel called to bow in whatever form, either just folding forward, maybe you come onto your hands and knees and bring your forehead to the floor, or maybe a full pranam where you lay flat out where your really surrendering to the wisdom. And you are asking again for your body, mind, and speech to be enlightened. You're ready. You can open your eyes. So that particular practice is called Bumpachin. Bumpachin. And it's the root of all Tibetan yogic exercises. And traditionally is considered very secret. But thanks to Dr. Nidda, he's bringing a lot of these practices very publicly, which I think is much needed in our society for those that are drawn to it. Obviously, not everybody's going to be drawn to Bumpachin or Nejong. So gradually, I would like to work through this book and bring in the exercises as well, which are all mostly done seated, very simple, but using that vase breath, including the 9-part purification breath. So, maybe once or twice a week, we'll work through that along with some other meditation techniques. And I wanted to just go through, where is it? If I can find it. Come on. I can't find the little chart. That's okay. Next time. There's more, there's other things that you can visualize with that 9-part breath, which I find really interesting. So it all depends on the type of person you are as you begin to work through the practices and what comes. All right, this is a little indication. So left side, you can imagine that you're gathering up snakes, right? We've talked a little bit about this, the snakes. The right side, pigs, right? And then the central channel is a rooster. So you can even see all that flying out when you release.
What are the significance of those?
That's what I'm trying to find, the little page that has the chart. And it's just the animal. So they do energy, color, emotion, humor, element, and animal. I'm not sure if it says exactly what they represent.
Probably acknowledge like what pages do in the world, and too, like the snake, the shedding, the slithering. The pig is very familiar with the vibes, and then the rooster is like, wake up, it's happening. It's kind of what I think. Right away. I like that.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know, I'll have to look in the training manual. Not sure. Sometimes there's no explanation in this, they're just like, it just is, let's see. All right, nope. Yeah, if you're a very visual person, you can also imagine that little snakes, the symbol of anger, are expelled out of your left nostril with the exhale. And then let's see what it says. You can also imagine little pigs, the symbol of confusion, being exhaled out of the right nostril. And then the rooster is the symbol of desire and attachment. So yeah, that's what that is.
Ooh, I wonder if there's like a book about all their meanings of the animals.
Probably. The element, so the right channel, fire, the central is wind, the left is water and earth. The humor, the right channel is bile, the central channel is wind, and then the left is phlegm. So there you go with. with pollen, right? The emotion, the right is anger and aversion, the central is desire, attachment, and the left is ignorance and delusion. The color we know, red, blue, white, energy, solar, neutral, and lunar. Yeah. So the vase breath. How was that? I heard a lot of shooting arrows. That was great.
I had trouble keeping 70% in the base. I
Mhm.
felt like I wanted to exhale all of it.
Yeah, me
I
too.
I did the Cupid arrow,
Yep.
and then I would slowly let the rest of it up. Are you supposed to keep it?
That was my
Almost
question to
I think I
myself
believe.
that I'm going to,
Okay.
yeah. So I think that when we inhale, we don't have to inhale, like, cause so a lot of us are used to yoga where we're doing these big inhales, exhales. And what I kind of came to during that, but I'm also going to look up so I can tell you for sure. Is that I don't think we need to inhale so deeply. Yeah, and because I was feeling the same thing. I was inhaling deeply, shooting the arrow, but then also continuing to exhale.
Yeah.
So,
Right, me
right,
too.
we're all
Yeah.
doing that, right? All the
Yeah.
yogis and
Yeah.
us were like,
I know,
what,
it's like.
what do we do with this air?
Here.
So if we just do. Yeah, almost like Breath of Fire, where it's not so deep.
Right,
I
it's
think
like-
that's
Mm.
it, but like I said, I'm gonna check.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure he did not mention continuing to release the exhale after shooting the arrow, so. But thank you for mentioning that, cause that was like on my mind the whole, so apparently it was on all of our minds.
Yeah.
What do we do with this extra breath? I feel like is it staying in the vase if I'm continuing to exhale, right?
And it's hard.
I like it though.
Yeah. I like the imagery of that space, right? Like it just makes sense to have that space, have the base there and have it filled, and that sort of is our charging the battery for the day. And the 9-part breath always feels like that too.
I had a hard time sort of visualizing like. Cause I'm inhaling, so I'm picturing it like then
Moving
it's
up.
coming up and then I'm like, oh, but I gotta put it in.
Right. Well, and then that's where you come back to that.
Yes.
But I know it even though we're inhaling the same way we do in yoga, we're
Yeah.
filling the lower belly. But the visual is different because normally you almost imagine it drawing up to the
Yeah.
chest, right? So we're not drawing up, we're filling the belly. But yeah, it does feel a little counterintuitive to what a lot of us have been practicing, but it's not. Be weird if we were filling the chest,
Yeah,
and the base was here, then that would be like,
but it's like, it's hard to just only breathe into the belly too, because like you said, we're used to,
drawing it up.
like, I'm like, oh, no, like, stay. Don't go up there.
Practice.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah,
It's
and
interesting to have a different place to breathe into,
yes,
so you're creating a new space in your body that you weren't necessarily aware of.
yeah, right. I think visualizing it, for me, it's really easy to visualize that space. But yeah, it's a little more thought provoking when practicing because of the yogic practices, like the traditional hatha yoga. This is Tibetan yoga, so yeah. And everything in Tibetan yoga is for health, right? I mean, that yoga is too, but it's like this, every single thing is a combination of mind, body, heart, mind, body, soul kind of thing. So every little aspect of it is like simultaneously working toward being the medicine, for our vitality. And that's another reason why I love it, because it's kind of all encompassing. So we'll keep on practicing together. And, if you remember any parts of that at home, go for it, but don't go too crazy with the breath retention. Always be mindful of how you feel. If you practice that at home, maybe just do, 5 to 7 rounds. And then we can do it together and explore as a group. So that way we stay just conscious of working with these vital energies, because they can be really powerful too. So maintaining the gentleness, the comfort, and not overdoing anything is super important. And then when we bring in the Neijong, the exercises, the 24, then we're just gonna be flying out of this room. It's amazing. It's just our bodies, like it's our body, it's our energy, and our society is very interesting, like our Western society, how we really just don't work with energy, even though it's so us, like the physical body, the energetic body, like other societies it's just so normal and natural the way that they have conversations about it, like in their doctors, this is how they prescribe medicine, and then here we just don't. But I love that you all showed up here and you're open to, I mean, I know that you're all open to energy, so it's not hard I don't have to convince you. Am I convincing anybody today? I don't think so. That's a relief, because that's half the battle. Like, you really do have energy, I promise. Actually, I mean, it's scientific now at this point too, so just Google it. All right, well, thanks for being here. We'll do a little more of this on Friday, and yeah, and you'll have the recording, so if you want to practice along with that, then it will make it a little bit easier.